And in related news, Palestinian schools in East Jerusalem announced a strike Monday in protest of proposed Israeli curriculum reforms. The controversy surrounds content in some textbooks that has been deemed as incitement that the Education Ministry has asked to be removed. Joining us now with more on this is Dr. Eldad Pardo, researcher with the Institute of Asian African Studies at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and research director at Impact SE. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Great. So what exactly is the content that the Education Ministry would like removed from these textbooks?
Basically, the curriculum in East Jerusalem is the Palestinian curriculum. The same curriculum that we heard in the earlier interview is packed with anti-Israeli material, ranging from jihad to describing Israel as an invader, settler, colonialist, and so on and so forth. The main problem is that you have only the hate, only the criticism across the curriculum. And this is pretty bad for schools in the West Bank and Gaza. But when it comes to Jerusalem, that is a mixed city of Jews and Arabs living together, then it's a question, how is it possible that in some of the schools you teach hate against other neighbors, people you meet in the market, you meet in the workplace, you meet in gardens, parks, whatever.
I mean, so, Israel is calling to remove content that, as you mentioned, it deems as incitement. So why the resistance? Why the strike? Why teach children about jihad rather than peace?
Well, first of all, this is a long story. It's not new. It's not news. The strike is new. But since the late 90s, there was a transformation among the Palestinians from the Jordanian curriculum to the Palestinian curriculum. And since 2016, this curriculum went on to further radicalization. Now, in Jerusalem is part of Israel, but largely teaches, except for 15% now of schools that teach the Israeli Arab curriculum, largely teaches the Palestinian curriculum. So the municipality would erase parts of the books for many years where they saw a lot of incitement. But in recent years, let's say 6-7 years, they started taking out some of the material and implanting peaceful material, mainly taken from Arab curricula from the region, not from Israel, but from the region, about a host of topics. But again, this is a Palestinian curriculum. It includes the Palestinian flags, the Palestinian narrative, and all of that. But there are some peace-directed materials such as meetings between Israelis and Arabs and things like that, but not so much because in the Palestinian curriculum you had, for example, some material about Islam, some material about Christianity, nothing about the Jews, and so on. So they introduced a little bit of that, but basically it's the same curriculum. So, and people throughout the city didn't have any problem with it. Right now, for some reason, probably this struggle between Hamas and Fatah or whatever reason, they announced a strike.
And can you give us perhaps a breakdown of how many schools, how many students this is affecting?
Well, there are, I'm not expert on the statistics, but there are around 117,000 students, a few hundred schools in East Jerusalem. In recent years, there is a movement towards adopting the Israeli curriculum, meaning the Israeli Arab curriculum, the same curriculum that is being taught in Israel. And we are talking here about some 15%, but the rise in recent years was dramatic. I think it's threefold. More and more people would like to learn the Israeli curriculum because they see their future as belonging with Israel. So we are talking about, let's say, 100,000 students. And the question is, how will all this unfold?
Now, there are reports that the organizers of the strike have threatened to keep the schools shut until the education ministry backs down. So you ask the question, how will this unfold? I mean, how can this issue be resolved?
Well, I would say that, first of all, we have to really be happy that, unlike the situation in the past, that we had either incitement or hate education, or books that parts of them were just, arbitrarily erased. What happened in the last years that they reintroduced material, but this was done together with the teachers of East Jerusalem. So basically, it's an Arab curriculum by Arab citizens of Jerusalem, and it's a Palestinian curriculum. Now, the question is, how can the people who threaten the parents not to send their children, and there were news about masked people going from school to school, threatening people, why would they obey them in the long run? It's an open question. Of course, I would like to see more of a dialogue. Maybe they are not happy with, let's say, a particular element in the book that Israel replaced. Maybe they can say, okay, we want this flag here back, or we want this material about Palestinian prisoners back, or whatever. I'm sure the city will be very flexible, as it has been.
Teaching children peace over jihad. Dr. Eldad Pardo, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Hi everyone, it's Emmanuel Kadosh. I wanted to invite you all to subscribe to ILTV Plus, where you can find our daily news and updates about Israel. And not only that, but live feeds, entertainment, our kosher food show, and so much more. Needless to say, your subscription to ILTV Plus helps us grow and create more content while also supporting the state of Israel. Our app is available on all platforms and devices, so I'll see you guys there.